Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. I'm here today to bring the review for Bubuki Buranki episode number 18. So we start things off with flashback, and we're just flashing back to when Koriko was told that her parents are still alive and that there is a chance that she may see them again. Basically, for the theme of this episode, I really saw it as how just more insight, more character development, if you can call it that, for Koriko. Because for me personally, it seems that Kuroko has been acting the way she has up until now because she has felt unloved, she felt abandoned, and she resented Azuma for it, and just everything that she's been doing, how she's been acting up until now is because of those things. But now that she knows the truth, and now things should become a little bit different. So this episode for me has made her a bit more likable. I don't like her yet. We need to see how things play out for the rest of this series because prior to this, I was like, okay, she's a brat, don't really like her, just like middle finger kind of thing. But now I'm starting to feel for her a little bit, so we'll see how the end of the series goes, and maybe Kuroko will be a likable character. One thing about her in this episode that I didn't understand was why she was so all suddenly filled with life after she's been saved. And talk about that a bit more a bit later, just all of a sudden full of life and just thrilled to fight, and I don't really understand why she was like that, but that's just the one thing of her I didn't understand within the episode. Other than that, we had Ryoko and Azuma having a little heart to heart. The most important thing to come out of that part of the scene was when we have Ryoko basically telling us Guy's plan, and his plan is to use, I forgot what it was called, was basically described as the creator of a Buranki that has created all the other Burankis. So the gods of the Burankis and the comet from the sky, he's going to use both of these to recreate the world in his image, basically. And now that's a standard villain plot. I can't think of an example, but I know that's been used somewhere before, so been there, done that kind of thing. They did have a little conversation about the ways of viewing things, and yeah, there was that, but I didn't think that was really that important. I think that's something that's been seen in early episodes, maybe, but yeah, I didn't really think that was important. We had the bit where Guy was reading the book to some kids. Now that bit was creepy to me because I know that guy is a bad guy, but I'm thinking, who are these kids? Now the only thing that can come to mind is that they are potential Bubuki users for the future. So maybe these kids were taken away from the parents, and the parents being Bubuki users, and so because we know that guy wants to kill off all the Baranki, so in order to do that, he's got to kill the Baranki users and the people that are using their limbs. So as soon as they die, if they had kids, then they would be transferred to them. So maybe he's taking the kids in advance. So once he kills them, he's got easy access to the kids. Obviously, the kids will be easier to kill, especially if they don't have their Babuki with them on site. So yeah, that's what I thought about that bit. So we find out some more things about Entei now. Apparently, Entei not doesn't have a brain but has a nerve system, so it should be able to work on its own. But the question that came up within the episode is how come Ryoko and Kaguya can use it. Yeah, so there was that. One last final funny thing slightly was when we had Kogami and Kinoa just basically getting in on motorbike and the other guy about you're in your late 40s, you don't know how to cook, you're probably going to end up divorced, blah, 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 blah. That was slightly funny, I'm not going to lie. And the last thing that happened at the very end of the episode, when we have Azuma going solo to go get his sister. Now, why is he going solo? Why is he going solo? That wasn't even my initial problem. My initial problem was we see him walking along the road, car drives by him, then his mum and dad never teach him not to get into a car with strangers. But yeah, so now that we have Kagi, no, what was her name? Forgotten the sister's name. Well, we got the sister saved. The brother is now in danger. So what is going to happen there? This episode was alright, standard. So I'm going with standard rating number 3. Like always, guys, I must give for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.